Hi, I'm Radiance. Join me on a journey to bring you enticing recipes where every video is a celebration of deliciousness, creativity, simplicity, and foodie inspiration. Today we're switching things up a bit. I'm in my other kitchen and we're going to be making something comforting and sweet and warm. And these are cinnamon roll granola bars. Yep, cinnamon roll granola bars. Let me show you how to do that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set our temperature to 350. So you're going to need a 8x8 square pan, baking pan, some parchment paper to line it. You're going to need a small pot. Get you a bowl for mixing. It could be aluminum or glass or any bowl you have. Cooking spray. I like to use this to spray my pan. You're going to need some cinnamon, some vanilla, maple syrup, allspice, some nut butter. I like to use walnut butter, some salt. You're going to need some pecans. Some people say pecans. Some pecans. And some rolled oats. Now, let's prepare our pan first and foremost. So, what I like to do is I like to spray my pan. And the reason why I like to use this is because that way I don't have to necessarily waste butter. And this is actually just to make the parchment paper stick. Now, you're going to do this in 2 layers. One layer is going to actually go down first. You can cut this. I'm not cutting this. Well, I tore off too big a piece, so it's just going to be 1 layer. But normally what you can do is put 1 layer going this way, and then you switch and put 1 layer going this way. That way you can lift it out easily. But because I tore off such a big piece, it's just going to be 1 layer. We'll put that to the side. I'm going to get my bowl. Okay. So first thing you're going to do is actually prepare your flours. That's going to consist of pecans, and you're going to take whole pecans. It can be whole, it can be in pieces, and you round it up so it looks like this, like a pecan flour. You do the same thing with the rolled oats. These are your rolled oats. They're whole, they're not quick. They're called old-fashioned oats. They get processed into a flour, which I already have here, and this is what it looks like. All right, and then we're going to actually put those two together. I like to, just a quick tip, I like to use my little Ninja blender. You can use a food processor or a regular blender, but this is what I like to use to grind up my flour. All right, so first things first, we're going to put in the rolled oats or the oat flour. We're going to put in the ground up pecans. We're going to put in lots of cinnamon. This is cinnamon heavy. If you're a cinnamon lover, you're going to love this. So I'm not even going to really measure it, but you get the point. Lots of cinnamon. And we're going to put in some allspice. And some salt. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. And that's it for your dry ingredients. You're gonna stir that up. See, stir that up just until it's well incorporated. Hey y'all, okay, so my sound went out, so I had to do a little magic here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the maple syrup. Clearly I put my pot on first. You're going to put in a bit of maple syrup in there, making sure you're careful not to splash it on the heat, right? Nice, and pour it in, shake it down off your cup. There we go. I'm going to let that heat up a bit. Make sure the flame is not too high. And then after that, we're going to put in the nut butter. As I said, I use walnut butter that is homemade. And I'll have a recipe somewhere here on my channel at some point to show you how to make that nut butter. But you can use any nut butter that you prefer. Walnut butter, almond butter. But I have a thing for walnut butter. All right, so I'm putting that in a bit at a time. Kind of trying to get off my spoon. Okay. And use your fingers if you need to. There you go. I guess I got to use my fingers a little more. All right, I got it in. Now use your whisk and vigorously whisk it. You are going to whisk while kind of pushing it down a little bit just to break it up. And keep whisking. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of muscle, but just keep working it and working it vigorously. All right, there we go. It's thinning out a little bit. Keep going. Now, if you don't have a whisk, you can use a spoon, by the way, but I like to use a whisk for this process. You see it's getting thinner. Okay, this is a good consistency. This is what you're looking for, something thin. All right. All right, we're going to turn the heat off. Now we're going to add some walnuts. All right. I have whole walnuts. You can break them up. And just bit by bit, I'm using my fingers to break up the walnuts. If you don't like walnuts, you can opt for something like an almond. Almonds are a bit tougher though, so I would slice those if you're going to use almonds. You can also use cashews, any nut that you like. But for this recipe, I am using walnuts. Walnuts, believe it or not, if you think about it, are really healthy for you because if you look at a walnut, they look like what? A brain. So they're good for your brain. Just a little fact there. But yeah, walnuts are very good for you, and that's what I'm using in this recipe. So continue breaking them up. All right, and then we're going to add our mixture that we had on the stove. And yeah, there we go. Just mix it in nice and right. Scrape it from your pot. All right. And then we're going to incorporate that with a spoon. You're going to pull that from the bottom, pull it from the sides, mixing that wet mixture into the dry. All right, keep going. And it's going to look like this. It's going to be a coarse, wet texture, which is pretty good. I want some more walnuts. I decided that last minute, so that's why I'm putting some more in. You can add as many nuts as you like, but I just wanted a little bit more. So I like that chewy, crunchy texture, which is what this bar is going to end up being. Right, mix it in some more. Right, we're going to add some allspice. Almost forgot that part. And just a little bit more allspice. There we go. And yeah, we're going to go in and we're going to mix it up a little bit more and pull it from the bottom just so it's well incorporated. Scrape it from the side. Now grab your parchment lined pan and scrape it from your bowl. This is going to be a bit on the sticky side, so I'm kind of like pulling it up and punching it down a little bit. This is very sticky. I'd recommend using a spoon or a spatula. All right. And before I actually kind of smooth it out, I'm going to continue packing it into the pan. It doesn't have to be neat at this point. You just want to make sure you get as much of it off the bowl as you can, right? You see I'm scraping the bowl. And because it's so sticky, I'm actually going to get myself a spoon. And I'm going to take the spoon to help me get it off my flat spatula. I'm using silicone tools, by the way. That's a silicone spoon and spatula. I like silicone. Some people are against it, but I think it's really good in terms of working, and it kind of helps to get things off a little bit easier. It just happens to be a sticky. So you see me scraping the bowl, scraping, scraping, scraping. I'm going to take my spoon again and scrape the spatula off, right? There you go. All right. Oh, I'm scraping a little bit more and trying to get every bit off of that cinnamon gooey goodness. All right, so now I'm going to go in and we're going to smooth it out. Now, this does not have to be perfect. I'll just, make it uniform just because this is going to bake. and you want to push it out to the edges as much as you can, moving it to the sides, and then, of course, pulling it down as you go, pushing it to the sides in the corner. I'm going to pull my parchment down, and once again, pulling it down a bit. Once again, it doesn't be perfect. There you go. See? All nice and done. Now we're going to put it in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes. And it's going to go in. And voila, we're done. I'm pulling it out of the oven. Look at that. Nice and golden brown. Now just be aware it's going to be a little bit still on the soft side. It has to set and rest and cool off for 45 minutes. Yes, 45 minutes. No less than that, please, or else it will fall apart. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make this mixture for the cinnamon roll bars. This is going to be like a glaze. All right, we're going to use powdered sugar. And if you don't have powdered sugar, I would tell you you can make it yourself. It's just a process. You'd have to ground up granulated sugar. And honestly, do yourself a favor. It's a lot of work unless you want to do it. Just get yourself powdered sugar. Just go ahead. Get that if you can. Or you can go without the glaze. It's not a necessity. It's not that it's a must. I just like the way that it adds a little bit of sweetness to it, and it looks kind of pretty to me. And then we're going to add cinnamon. Yes, more cinnamon. I did say this was cinnamon heavy, so I'm going to add some cinnamon. I'm not measuring this, by the way, just putting in cinnamon as much as I like. And we're going to also then add in some milk. I'm using coconut milk. This is all plant-based, so you can use almond milk if you like, cashew milk, oat milk, whatever you have on hand. But I like unsweetened coconut milk for this, right? And then finally, we're going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Vanilla extract. Do yourself a favor, get yourself and invest in some real vanilla extract. I know it's a pricey, but to me, it's well worth it. But if you must, then you can use imitation. I just don't prefer that. All right. So then once we have all that in there, we're going to mix it. I'm using my little measuring spoon. You can use a regular spoon if you want, but just kind of mix it up and keep going. It's going to be on the thin side, just so you know. This is not going to be thick. This is a thinner kind of a glaze. But yeah, you're going to just keep mixing it, mixing it, mixing it. Look at that. Nice and luscious and thin, right? A little bit brown, and it smells so good. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. I wish you were here, but it smells so good. When you make this, you'll know what I mean. You're gonna smell this cinnamon goodness in the air. All right, so now we're gonna take our pan that has been cooled off for 45 minutes. Don't forget that, and we're going to drizzle that glaze over it. Right, drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. All right. We're going to drizzle it over it. This is not a frosting, so you're not going to smear it on, but you're going to drizzle it because it's just so thin. And, let that just go in there, right? And I forgot to mention, you can put this on if it hasn't cooled, by the way, but you would definitely, if you put it on before it cools off, you still need to let it set. The thing is, if you do it too soon while it's too hot, it's going to melt. So that's why you want to wait until it's cooled. I'm adding some powdered sugar, by the way. This is optional. Okay, so now it's all ready to cut. Look at that, all luscious and golden. You're going to take a very sharp knife and a cutting board, right? You're going to lift the parchment paper up, and there'll be easy removal, as you can see. You're going to pull your parchment paper down, like so. And you're going to take your very sharp knife, and you're going to cut it. I'm going to cut this into 9 pieces, so we're going to do one row down. I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to press it down, like that. And then I'm going to move over into the other row, and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to press the knife down. This is going to be gooey, so you want to make sure you get some force. You're going to turn it around, and we're going to do the same thing again on this side. We're going to press, and we're going to go over to the other side and press again. I'm making it to 9 pieces. You can do, more if you want to. You can actually make these bars into a little, thinner slices if you want. But I like a hearty bar. So that's why I'm making it 9 pieces. Now I'm going to move the end so I can get to the middle. Are you an end person or you a middle person? Let me know in the comments. I like the ends, by the way, but I'm taking the middle piece to show you. And there you go. Look at that nice ooey gooey. And look at the nuts. Okay, y'all. So we did it. Yeah, we did it together. All right, so here's the end result. The cinnamon roll granola bars. Okay. They smell heavenly, all right? See the little powdered sugar, the glaze on it. There's some walnuts that I added in last minute. And look at that. Just, so we're gonna give it a taste. We're gonna give it a taste. Okay. That is heavenly. So I love cinnamon. Cinnamon. If you love cinnamon, you're gonna love this. Not too sweet. A little bit of crunch. A little soft. Perfect. So this is a good snack. I'm probably gonna be eating this before I go to bed. It's also good for breakfast, just saying. Any time of day actually. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also, to get the deets of this recipe, subscribe to the channel. And then click on the link on my bio, join my free VIP group. Subscribe to get also like more recipes like this, you know. And leave a comment. Leave a comment if you've tried this. Let me know, like, did you use some walnuts? What are the, you know, additives you've used? And let me know what you're thinking. Maybe who you've shared it with. All right. So thank you so much for joining me, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.